we're back. It's episode 10 of the Weekly Vibe. This is going to be a special one. We're back, me and Ian, as always, and once again, we have a guest. We'll introduce our guest now. Welcome to the Weekly Vibe, Birdie. Say hello, Birdie.
Hello, Birdie.
Oh.
Birdie.
Yeah.
Well, hello, Birdie.
Hello,
welcome.
Hello, Ian. Hello, Ken.
Glad you're on.
We're very glad you're on.
On our 10th episode of the Weekly Vibe. Kind of nice. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's
been a fun ride.
It's been a fun ride, and we can plan to 20 episodes, and then 30, and then 40, and then 1 million,
So
and then.
Am I going to be brought around for special occasions only? Like a show off, like, hey, look, this is the person.
We're not bringing you back till episode 100.
Yeah. So 10th episode, kind of surprising. It's really gone fast.
But
didn't the first episode come like a week ago?
No.
Yeah, we've been grinding out episodes every 10 days. Just that that vlog type grind.
This is how we grind the algorithm.
Oh man, I would be exhausted. But
every 2 seconds, honey, are you ready for another recording session?
What's the dude's name? Steven George's 3,000 day vlog he still got going.
Oh
my gosh. Yeah, that is painful.
That's not a vibe.
Yeah,
that's not a vibe.
The vlog. But some Swedish dude has some technicality on, but go on.
So first topic. We want to include you guys, you the listeners.
Ooh, good sync.
You the viewer.
You the viewer. We want
VS Kids, thanks viewers. Thank you.
People power.
Oh.
So we want to get your hot takes, basically, your ATD hot takes. Yeah. Got some ones that weren't related to ATDs.
Yeah,
shout out
Kibler, shout out Oth.
Yep. You both did not submit a correct take. And I don't mean that
you guys have to compare what they
but Kibler, you do have the best team names. That's really not a hot take. Thank you.
It's not really ATD related in the sense we want.
Exactly. And Oth, you know what
Oth,
you did.
I'll get it out of the way now because viewers probably want to hear this, but Oth literally just sent me Harden over Curry. That was a take. That was it.
we didn't really know how to elaborate on English. Elaborate on that. So, yeah. Sorry, but not sorry. You've got to submit a take that we can actually take seriously.
So me and Ian will take turns just picking the takes we were sent. If we like them, we'll read it out to the other two in the chat. So Ian, would you like to go first, or shall I take it away?
Yeah, I'll start with the first one because this person wanted to remain anonymous. Because he claims he is a man of mystery.
Are we gonna say his name anyways?
No, I'm not gonna say his name.
Man of mystery.
If a man wants to be anonymous, a man must remain anonymous. I don't know how much of a hot take this is, but it is a take. This anonymous user said Brook Lopez may be the most overpriced player in ATDs. Mediocre 3-point shooting with albeit solid drop defense is not worth $8, and many players cheaper can fill those requirements. Again, shout out to the man of mystery.
Yeah, I totally don't know who that is.
I legitimately don't know who it is, so it's a man of mystery to me.
I agree with this take. I mean, Brook Lopez, he got kind of overrated because when his stint with Milwaukee first started, you saw him taking a lot of threes and spacing the floor, and I think he got kind of overrated. Like you see all those highlights of him shooting the three ball, and you think, "Ooh, 3-and-D center." Like, no, he's not really that.
Yeah, he's just like I don't know, like I guess his defense is fine.
It is.
But is it $8? No, it's not.
Like there was a point in Jay's server, shout out Jay Pickup, where Brook Lopez was like $10 and Jack Sigma was like $6.
Yeah, that's bad.
It was bad.
And the fact remains is like Brook Lopez has never been an actually good 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, this past season he put up 33.8%. The year before, 31.4 on almost 5 attempts per game.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
That's not good. I think Brook Lopez is a solid $2-3 guy in the range of like a Clifford Ray. Because I value Cliff Ray's defense way more than I value whatever the fudge Brook Lopez brings, I guess.
Let's get on YouTube Kids this week. Let's say very polite words about each other.
Yeah.
I will say about the Brook Lopez take, I kind of agree with it in that he's obviously overpriced.
Yeah.
But would he be the most overpriced in ATD? I don't. One that might be a little bit more. I feel like there would.
Know. Well, like the most overpriced player we have is obviously Dwight Howard. Shout out list. Yikes.
Sorry.
Yeah. I was looking at some of the duos earlier, and I put someone else over Dwight, and I realized Dwight is like, what is he ATD wise, like 40th?
He's high. He's high. He's $26.
Yeah,
He's $20, and everyone up until the $20 range is easily better than him, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he provides really nice defense, obviously, and his defense is all right, but like I don't think he's $26. I think he should be in the range of a Patrick Ewing.
That's what I was about to say. If Dwight Howard is $26, Patrick Ewing should be like $30.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I'm not saying that Patrick Ewing should be $30. I'm just saying Patrick Ewing is better than Dwight Howard.
You deserve to be $30.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's a good take from Mystery Man.
The man of mystery.
The man of mystery. Let's see.
Mystery to me.
There was one I saw that I liked. Well, Ian sent it to me. Where'd he go?
An Ian hot take?
No.
He sent it in chat. Let me find it.
Wait, do you mean?
Okay, actually no. I'm gonna go with the one that someone sent to me instead because I can't find the one Ian sent me because I'm bad at scrolling. I would like to shout out Bagel, 2 Arrow Bagel for this one. He sent me. I have a hot take. I said spit. Then he said Ray Allen should be a round 1 guy.
Huh?
Thoughts?
My first thought that comes to mind is okay.
Yes.
Like I think that it's fine. I think you're gonna want to stack a lot of like. If it was a standard draft, you'd want to stack a lot of talent like around him.
Yeah.
So I don't really know if he's not best used as a round 1 player because he provides like really, I mean, it's all-time shooting coming from him, and he's a decent player and stuff. So I don't know about that.
It becomes more interesting because you have the debates of people who will go back and forth between Reggie and Ray.
Yeah. Yep. What Reggie provides though is well, what does
Yeah.
Reggie provide? He
Us.
You're like
Spacing,
yeah,
like, just
obviously
like,
spacing. Obviously good shooting.
portability.
we call
Portability.
we call
But
Ray Allen.
Ray Allen is also a high port player, so
Yeah.
We call Ray the high, high space or the all-time spacing guy. But Reggie Miller is the all-time spacing guy. Like, dude, like,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't call
Yeah.
him the greatest shooter of all time, but like in that price range is like the number one dude who you're gonna take for spacing purposes only is Reggie.
Yeah.
And I think the best way to look at this is like I mean, in terms of Ray Allen being in the first round, take Ray Allen and compare him to shooting guards and the small forwards, whatever position you're thinking of him playing, above. Like, would you recently take Ray Allen over James Harden? Maybe. Allen over Reggie, Allen over T-Mac, Allen over Wade, go on and up.
Lord.
And
I don't think I'd do that, Mark.
no, yeah,
No, not Wade or West. No.
I mean, I was just meaning that.
We're really pushing Bagel's agenda right now.
Yeah.
I was just carrying on the message. Keep doing that up until you find a stopping point.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I will find a stopping point at like Dirk, basically. I think that
Jay.
I think that like this is an interesting one because it's like Ray's obviously great, but Ray's in the second round for a reason.
Correct.
He's not the go-to guy. Like, I'm looking at the thing right now. I don't think I would take him over any of the guys that are currently like round one type picks.
Yeah, it's just not the same talent-wise.
Like, I'd 100% take Grant Hill over Ray Allen still.
Like, I would rather argue Paul George is a round one guy than Ray Allen. That's my spicy take of the day.
Okay, well, congrats, you got it in.
Yeah.
But Bagel's a super fan of Walter Ray Allen. So I think that that's his opinion, and I understand it. But like,
yeah, you're wrong.
No, you're not wrong. You're just you can do it. Nobody's gonna stop you from not.
Yeah,
doing
it comes down to a matter of how you build around it and how you get voted.
Like, if you can get, man, it depends on who you get in the second round, I guess. Like, if you
if you're picking Ray Allen round one, it has to be at the very end. Like, you have to be getting him pick 29 or pick 30.
Because then you could just get a round one guy in the next round.
Because, like, in concept, Reggie Pippen works, so Ray Pippen would also work.
Yeah, that's... yeah, it would. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how similar, like, straight up similar, besides the shooting, Reggie and Ray really are.
That's fair.
You know what I kind of find interesting? Ray Allen and Reggie Miller always get the comparison, and you Ina just said Ray Allen and Pippen as a duo would work. Ray Allen is below Manu Ginobili of all people, which you think, like, if you're arguing for him, if Ray Allen to be in the first round, you're just looking over like all these people who could also be viable first rounders, like Harden, Grant, Jokic, who is usually a first rounder.
There's just too many guards that are better than Ray Allen for Ray Allen to be a staple round one player.
Yep. Yeah, I think, like, I'd rather argue for Barkley as a round one player than a round one player. Like, Barkley's gonna get you like
positional value.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. Shooting guard's one of the literal, like, I mean, it's not deep at all. Like, you start getting down and you're like, oh shit, I forgot. If you get a good shooting guard, like round 1 or 2, you're pretty much set. It's just, yeah. I think Ray's good because of that
Yes.
shooting, man. And he's a decent playmaker, too.
Right.
I don't know much about his defense. I really haven't poured over hours of Ray Allen film.
Most people probably wouldn't study
Yeah.
his defense that hard.
When Ray Allen, wasn't he considered like partially a slasher of some sort? Like he wasn't like all spacing his entire career. Like, and that's where I think the argument for him being a first round comes in is that he was on those Bucks teams. He was the main sort of primary scorer, not just spacing, but driving in and performing well offensively on other parts of the court that weren't past the 3-point line. But I don't. That's not saying that he should be first round. It's just something to think about.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's fair. There have been times where in Ray's career, rather than shooting from 3, he does flash inside. There are a couple Ray Allen dunking highlights here and there, but I wouldn't really write it home as something extra about him.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
the
he's.
dunking contest, of course, is an inside scorer.
But yeah, I mean, his value derives from his all-time shooting. But
yeah, that's the main area you want him. Like, you want Ray Allen on a team where he's playing with a really good primary playmaker that hits him in his spots.
Yep.
Like,
because the thing with Ray is he's gonna fit into any team, really.
Correct.
So
I don't think you could build a bad team around Ray Allen. Or like where Ray
debatable.
Allen I mean, like where Ray Allen is fault. Like you could build a bad team because your forwards are, bollocks. But
yeah,
don't pay any attention to Ray Allen as a shooting guard. He just kind of works.
Yeah. And this was a good discussion starter, I guess, because you can literally argue for anyone in the top 40, 45, I guess, for being around one pick. Because you look at you can look at Jesus, Karl Malone. I know he's a meme. I get it, but all-time player, I would.
Yeah.
He's a hard fit, but you can still build a really good Karl Malone team.
Yeah. Ian, you said about from around 45 up to be possible first round. Does that include Chauncey Billups? Are you saying you'd take Chauncey first?
No, there's some. I said there's some that have an argument. I think where it ends for me is Penny Hardaway. He could have it just because of his playmaking and obviously, but
well, if you're me, it ends at number 49 with Sidney Moncrief overall. So
I think that's all bird defense.
Yeah.
Bird defense. So
there's nothing else that says bird defense like taking Joe Dumars with your second pick in a draft.
That draft is what started mine and Liam's friendship because I went to Liam and I said, I want a team made of defense. And he didn't ask any questions. He was like, you want only defenders and no winning? Sure, take Joe. Well, I was the one who suggested Joe. I just want, and I'll tell you why. The previous thing, I remember someone taking Joe Dumars, and they were like, "Oh, he got the MJ stopper." And I was like, "Well, if he's the dude who stops the best player, why not take him first?" So I was like, "Fuck all of y'all! I'm getting Joe Dumars first. I'm getting the stopper first, and then I can worry about my team." And then it just went downhill.
Why take MJ when I can stop him?
Yeah.
Well, we all have our bad picks. We've all done that.
I once took DeMar DeRozan top 100.
There you go. Good job.
It was my first ever draft in, once again, Jay's server. Shout out Jay Pickup. I took Melo with my third rounder. I took DeMar with the fourth. My second round pick, I believe, was Wes Unseld.
Oh, spicy!
In my first ever draft, I think I had the 10th overall pick, or the 8th, 10th, or 12th overall pick.
Was that?
Yeah, that was
that when you took Grant Hill?
and I took Grant
Dude,
Hill.
Grant Hill was like pick 12.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah,
I
it's not bad.
made for it. Remember at
Not
one point,
Joe Dumars, second overall pick, bad, obviously.
Joe had
Yeah.
a Hill was just like, oh, he used to be good before his injury. That means he's the greatest player of all time. Take him.
Yeah, it's true.
When I
He's the
started
greatest
playing
player of all time. That's
when
my
I started
hot.
building the team in Kev's server, my goal was to have everyone whose career was ruined by injury. So I wanted Penny Hardaway at point guard. I wanted Brandon Roy at shooting guard. I wanted Grant Hill at small forward.
Oh,
That was
God.
my goal.
Yeah.
If it was a dynasty type draft, your team would be fucked. Oh my God. Well, there goes our YouTube kids. Shit.
Yeah. No.
No, yeah.
Okay.
I will say one more thing about that draft. I didn't get Penny Hardaway, so I think I took Hal Greer instead.
Oh.
All right. All right.
So on to the next take. This one's Ian's. So Ian, find the take right now.
Yeah.
Go.
Go,
I
Ian,
think I found
go.
the one you may have been looking. No. I didn't see it from you. Whoopsie. Wait, actually.
Oh my
yeah.
goodness, Ian hiding takes from me?
No, I'm not. I'm looking. Oh,
Rich counselor.
Trey, shout out Trey.
Yeah. This take was terrible.
No, gosh. Trey's a good dude. Let's.
Oh, he's very polite. I like him. Shut up,
So
Trey.
Trey's take here, hot take, is Pete Maravich is way too undervalued in ATDs. I feel with the offensive mastery he can bring, he should be at the very least somewhere in the top 150, 100 players drafted, because if you're looking for a guy who can do it all on offense, he's one of the best, in my opinion.
Yikes.
Trey.
In his defense,
there's no defense.
There is a defense. Birdie,
Pete
what is
Maravich,
it?
In his defense, and this one's going to get you. If
yeah.
we're taking Daron Williams top 100,
Oh my god.
surely Pete Maravich has to be somewhere.
No.
Okay.
Because what does Daron bring other than offense? Pete just does it with self-offense as opposed to passing the ball because he didn't know that existed.
What? There's a huge difference between what Daron Williams is doing and what Pete Maravich was doing.
First off, can any of you pronounce Darren Williams' name right? Can we just start there? That's a hot take.
It's cool. It's cooler if you say Daron Williams.
Well,
he's a better one. Instead of Daron Williams and
no,
Gilbert Arenas and Pete Maravich.
Oh my god. Okay, so we've officially gone off the rails, folks.
I'm just playing.
Welcome to the weekly bad takes. I'm Kev. I'm here with Ian.
Hello.
The more I scroll down, the more I just see like Pete Maravich clones, like Baron Davis,
what?
Kyrie
Irving. No, not even close.
Irving. Why are we not?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Baron Davis is like an excellent defender. He's a great passer. He's a good enough shooter. I would never put Pete Maravich over Baron Davis or Gilbert or Darren Williams.
Out of all the film I've seen, Pete Maravich's game was purely based off of hugging the ball. Like there's nothing desirable from Pete Maravich in an all-time draft setting.
Kevin,
he's a decent enough playmaker.
He's an okay playmaker and a good scorer, but that comes at the cost of him hogging up all your possessions. You don't want that. That's why we don't take Dantley.
Yep, I understand that. I mean, it is a.
I will say one last time, Kev, for you again. If we're taking, what is that? Allen Iverson is $9. How much is Isaiah Thomas? $4?
Oh my god! What are you getting at?
Those other ones were exaggerations, I'll admit, but the AI, the IT,
you can't argue
are more legitimate, I would say. Or Isaiah Thomas is $3. I would accept Pete Maravich being $3 if I'm being honest with you. Probably nothing more though.
No, no, I would not. If we had 50-cent players, I wouldn't even take Pete Maravich for 50 cents.
I would
Like-
see like 3 with like Kirk
Oh
Heinrich,
my god!
Jeff Williams.
Oh my god!
Well, the reason why Isaiah Thomas is $3 is because he was
His
incredibly.
offense is actually legit.
Yeah. Whereas Maravich, like, obviously, okay, in Maravich's defense, he never really had great teams, anyways. So-
No, but it doesn't excuse his play style.
No, but I'm just saying that in his defense, he kind of had to be the guy. Like, really.
and
like,
that's
If he wasn't
That's
the
a-
guy, he was paid. Like they paid him because he
And
was the
that's-
dude who shot the ball. Mainly.
but
it's a fine defense that he didn't have a good supporting cast, but he was clearly a player. Like, you can make the argument for Wilt. Sure, Wilt's 50-point per game season, he didn't have a great crew, so he was the guy. But you look at how it damaged team offenses. That's kind of what you're getting with Pete Maravich. I don't want a Pete Maravich who's taking all the possessions, potentially damaging a team offense.
yeah,
yeah.
if
Yeah,
you
I-
want him in your starting lineup, which a top 100 pick, he's going to
No.
be starting. So
Yeah, that
Yeah.
I've abandoned that hope of a top 100 pick. But I will say, legitimately,
that's
as a like scoring threat off the bench, who's getting like lower minutes, I think he's a viable $1 dude to just go out there and score and play like 8 minutes a game, maybe.
he's a viable pick if you have like
it's a
a
value if you're
bench that is tailored to his play style. If you don't, you shouldn't take him because he's going to ruin your team.
right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Pete Maravich, like, if you're gonna do Pete Maravich, you need to have the fit for Pete Maravich, or else your bench is now terrible. Like, that's just how it is. Pete Maravich, in most cases, is a terrible pick.
But he
Seeing
can.
when I take Pete Maravich top 100 next draft.
I'll do it.
Bro, that's something QP would do.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out QP. Shout out QP. He wouldn't do that.
I remember. Well, he's taken AI second round, so I'm not.
I
fully
took it
against
second round once.
Yeah, and it was terrible.
Well,
I had a draft recently where someone took Elgin Baylor first round
Oh my god.
in a standard.
yep. Well, okay. So Trey, thank you for submitting, but it is
Trey,
that is a piping hot take.
that is
we hope that
you-
we're not trying to like disregard your take at all. We're actually trying to show you why
help
he
you.
is more expensive because he's
Mhm.
above.
And I had fun playing devil's advocate in his favor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you were an advocate for Trey.
Congrats. You played devil's advocate.
I did it.
Now
My podcast appearance
because I don't want to get crippling. I don't know. I don't want to have crippling depression, so I'll move on to the next topic.
Yeah.
Um.
Well, next topic, bruh. We
Oh
still
no,
got
not
a
next
couple.
topic. The next take. My bad. That was miswording by me. I apologize. Let me find it. Scrolling in mod bedroom is not fun, folks. Let me just put it out there.
Well, I have the next one. If you
No. I'm almost there.
are you
I'm almost. Yeah.
are you there? Are you really
Yeah.
sure?
If I
got
would
it.
Trust me, I'm almost there. Okay, so this is a bit of a potentially biased take. I got this take from Vibe Central user Skunk. Shout out Skunk. Thank you for sending a take in. Skunk says she thinks Kyrie Irving should not cost less than Gilbert Arenas and Robert Covington, which I actually think is factual.
Robert Covington overpriced. Yes.
Yeah. Like legitimately, between the three of us, let's analyze, break down. What does Gilbert Arenas do better than Kyrie Irving?
He has a cooler name.
Yeah. Ian struggling a bit here.
Better at confronting his teammates.
Oh no!
Sorry.
He can really shoot. Huh?
I'll give Gilbert one thing over Kyrie. Gilbert was the better player on the We Believe Warriors. I don't think Kyrie really contributed at all on that team, so Gilbert has that over him.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I guess. What does Gilbert really provide? He's a good playmaker. He's probably the weirdest guy to take, in my opinion.
It comes to a point where you watch the film of both players, and Irving has similar strengths, but he's doing it at a more fittable level. Irving is more proven off the ball. Yeah, probably more efficient, yeah?
Well, it depends on, like, how bad of an efficiency. I'm trying to look at efficiency for...
I feel like I may be tripping. I feel like I remember Irving being more efficient than Arenas relative to league. Maybe I'm just tripping balls.
I'm kind of looking. Arenas does have positive true shooting percentage in a lot of his years, which is kind of surprising.
I will say Gilbert
Arenas. So Irving was a +4 this year. Gilbert Arenas.
No one ever plans to take Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas is just sort of that guy that you
know
because he gets stuck into. I don't think anyone ever plans for Gilbert. He just sort of happens.
No.
I'm gonna plan for Gilbert now.
Break the mold.
Yeah, it's actually pretty close. Peak Kyrie is like +4 and peak Arenas is like +5. So yeah, they're about the same level efficiency wise. But within that same category, Irving is still doing it with the better ability to fit next to your star players. There's no real proof that Gilbert Arenas is really going to mesh next to a LeBron James.
Yeah.
But admittedly, is bashing myself because I once had Gilbert on a LeBron team. But it's conceptual. I won't bash on you if you say Gilbert Arenas can play off the ball because it's possible, but it's not as proven. I would rather have a Kyrie Irving who is proven to do all that stuff.
Well, yeah, and I think the thing too, I'm gonna jump to the next player, Robert Covington. The issue with taking Kyrie over Robert Covington is Robert Covington is elite at defense, and that is something that I'm not. Is Kyrie like?
Well, yeah.
I mean, he's a good playmaker. He's a good shooter. But is he like? Kyrie isn't a specialist. The reason why we take Covington so high is because he's a specialist. Do I think going over Robert Covington? Yes, I really do not like Robert Covington in these.
Yeah, so, it's a matter of ATDs. They're a bit weird because people take players based on what they need and where they need it.
Yep.
So people's values bounce around because like people go, oh, I have a wing scorer. I probably need a good wing forward defender. Bam, there's Robert Covington. It just happens that way.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good take. I don't know how spicy it is. I
It's
think
not
it's
very.
just
It's
The
mostly
question is,
just skunk being skunk.
do we
and
raise?
Kyrie.
Do we look to raise Kyrie's price up to Covington's, or do we just drop Covington and Arenas' price?
Oh,
Drop.
Covington and Reigns need dropped for sure.
Yeah,
Like
I don't think I'd
Covington
raise.
should not be $16. This is why we need a standard draft. I'm telling y'all
Yes,
right now. I
actually,
we would
it.
we would actually really appreciate it if you guys voted AT 25 to be standard.
Yes, we want a standard draft.
25 to be auctioned.
No,
That's
auction's
just
not in the next vote.
Why not? Oh yeah,
It got last place in 24.
yeah. I think I voted number one for the past like 5 drafts.
Yeah, it sucks to suck.
after having an auction draft in my server, I'd prefer to never ever do it again.
Yeah.
Are we ready to
So,
move
yeah.
on to the next take?
Yeah, let's get some more takes rolling because this topic is starting to go a little long.
This one is from Liam.
Mhm.
He said, not really much sense to Horace Grant, Robert Horry, David West, Elton Brand, and Chris Webber all being 5th, 6th round picks, while Aldridge is back end round 10. Pretty easily defensible, but I guess hotter than the usual McHale staple or Westbrook bad ATD player staple.
Mhm. I mean,
That's a hot take.
It's spicy because it's a fine take because LaMarcus Aldridge. It's definitely a little weird that for a player as versatile as him with the skill set he has, he goes so underlooked.
I think honestly, it might just be because he's always kind of been viewed as kind of being boring in terms of play style. No one wants to watch LaMarcus Aldridge play.
Yeah. I mean, I think too part of the issue is like the guys he listed here, Horace. I mean, okay, I agree with him about Robert Horry. Robert Horry should be about a negative $14 player.
Yeah.
I have my obvious bias in that one, but Horace, West, Brand, Weber are all pretty decent playmakers, and Weber's actually all time. Weber's an all time playmaking big. So to put Aldridge in there, I don't know so much about that.
It's an interesting take in comparison. We had a impact stat graph of sorts that Liam sent us. It was Ratman, I believe, or APM Ratman, Repim.
I say Rap M.
I usually just I pronounce the M like mim and go like Ratman.
There you go. Anyways,
yeah, it was. And LaMarcus Aldridge's impact stats there were just out of this world. Like he was clear of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting thing to acknowledge because it's a great point that his impact was insane.
I think it's just how the one thing that I guess LaMarcus Aldridge can have over those other people, in response to the playmaking is that LaMarcus Aldridge is stupidly consistent. Like you're not gonna have an off night from him. You're not gonna have like a crazy night for him, but you're gonna get consistently like 15 points every night, the same way from the same spot on the court. Like it's just...
that's a fair argument too. LaMarcus Aldridge at his peak performance was a very set player. He was always, I guess, a more casual Twitter take, but he was always in his bag.
Yeah, he's just an impact stats like God, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
He's someone in another server said he has better rap M than all-time greats over a huge number of possessions. And I think I don't know. I don't know about him that much. I mean, he's a really good scorer. That's one thing.
He's respectable defensively. He's not gonna like lock down anything, but he's respectable from what I know
Yeah,
on defense.
he's existent on that side of the floor, which is good. Like he
Well,
adds defense.
it doesn't matter much, but I also know that isn't he like a fairly good rebounder, like an oddly kind of good rebounder nowadays. Like
I
he just
believe
pulls
his
down
rebounds.
like a strange
Uh,
amount of rebound.
let me see. Yeah, he had some seasons where he averaged a pretty high amount of rebounds. Let's see, is it 17, 18 the year that we pick?
I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he averaged 23 points and 8.5 rebounds. So yeah, high volume rebounder. Man, it's a hot
lot of
take, but
a lot of the reasons why Aldridge's RAPM is so freaking high, I think you all should take a look at like who he's played, like who plays behind him. His impact stats are inflated because it would be Jawan Howard or Channing Frye or Jeff Ayers behind him, and that's not like that's not like
Normal backups.
that's not great. So I think like his impact stats are inflated because of the players that were behind him. And when you have that, I don't know much about Rapim. I'm not gonna pretend like I do, but he didn't have good backups. So he's
well, that can be flipped around because you can make the argument that some players advance at look worse because other players drag them down impact wise.
yeah. I mean,
And at that point, you begin just sort of grading how good players' backups are, which isn't the point of the argument in the first place.
but I don't think I would take Aldridge over Chris Webber. I think Chris Webber.
Yeah, neither would I.
I think he needs to be boosted way more actually because I've been watching a lot of Chris Webber film of late, and I'm like really freaking impressed by him. He gives up sometimes on defense, but his offense is straight some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah, it's a hot take, but it's an okay one, I think. Like, if you argued LaMarcus Aldridge for $4 or $5, I'd probably be for it.
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
I think that hot take goes down a little bit because Liam specifically said Weber, compared to y'all, in which both Weber and Aldridge, they both need boosts. You don't really want to put one over the other, but everyone else, I don't really have a problem. I mean, Horace Grant, I'm a big Horace Grant fan personally. I did a film study of him a while back. I mean, I'm a big fan of Horace Grant, but I guess apart from Grant and Weber, I see Aldridge, being that kind of guy. He definitely needs to be more expensive.
Yeah, for sure. So, I guess we're starting to run a little long. So, what do you think? One more take, Ian? One or two?
Well, I don't know how many takes we actually have, but
We probably got room for one more.
Look at the topic. How much do you think we're really going to have to say about the next topic?
A fair amount. We can.
We'll keep it quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Before we get into it,
supposedly our final take of this topic sent in by Russell Westbrook fan. Thank you, Russell Westbrook fan. We appreciate you. Russell Westbrook fan sent in that his hot take is that a lot of the Clay hate is unreasonable and that him going late in the second round is completely okay.
I could see that.
So, it's a fine take. It's an interesting spot because Klay Thompson, you can place him as an overrated defender, which is an okay argument. I'm personally more leaning towards that side. You can argue that maybe his offense is questionable because he has a quick jumper, he has the efficiency, but he's always been surrounded by the perfect offense for his play style. Like it's hard to analyze how he adjusts to different settings, or maybe the offense isn't as good. How hard does it tank Klay Thompson? It's it's in a spot to where Klay Thompson, he's just so questionable of a player, how he adjusts, how the different scenarios, different settings. It makes me wonder what his value really is in these.
I also think a large part of the Clay thing is that you find these certain players. Clay is probably the best example where they kind of fluctuate in terms of people. Oh, they want a 3-and-D guy, for the second round, a
Mm-hmm.
backup offense guy. So Clay, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Clay's the pick there. They go for Clay, and then Clay gets
Yeah.
really good, and everyone's like, "Wait, hold on, is Clay really that good?"
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone hates
Right.
Clay. Clay goes down, and I guarantee
Mm-hmm.
you, once Clay has started falling to like round 4 or something, people are gonna be like, "No, why are we taking Clay in round 4? He's like a round 2," and they're gonna push him back up again. He's just so
Yeah.
questionable that his ADP like fluctuates throughout rounds.
Yeah, he's definitely. It's the value of Klay Thompson is definitely kind of split in half. You have the people that hate him and the people that keep boosting him. It, I mean, I'm personally side like round two is not great for me personally. I'm okay with defending him as a round two player, but I just think he's so questionable in terms of adaptation and translation that it's really not worth the high pick. Like you've got to have him in that right spot to where you go, yep, I'm getting this like same Klay Thompson I got on the Warriors where he had perfect spacing, perfect teammates. I just don't know how much you're meeting that scenario.
But what if you're taking Curry first round?
Well, I mean, if you're putting Curry and Thompson together for you, like that's a proven formula. So it's not as bad, obviously. But I'm just saying in the context that all the time Klay Thompson's with different players on different teams with different team owners. I don't know how good of an idea it is to always take him in the second round. It's a questionable spot.
That's fair, but I believe it's questionable in both ways. You could support it, and you could also not support it. I think you can. There's definitely times where it would fit. There's definitely times where he could be the best option there. There's also definitely times where he isn't.
I mean, it's just a confusing spot. I mean, his defense obviously I think his defense is more questionable than his offense because a lot of people have made the argument that's overrated. A lot of people have made the argument that's great. Some people have said straight up that Dan Green should go over him, that Clay should be dumped down in price.
I
Which,
don't. I don't think anyone's ever gonna go to that far. Go to those lengths.
yeah, yeah. I've seen it said. Some people say that Danny Green is a true like goat 3-and-D,
The
which
thing
this
with
isn't. It's
Clay's defense is that I think. Sorry to cut you off, Kev, but I think
oh,
the
it's okay.
thing with Clay's defense specifically is that he he's solid in a time where everyone kind of looks in and assumes that guard guys are going to be terrible at defense. So he kind of
Mm-hmm.
gets bolstered by the fact that he's one of the few. Well, at one point he was. Now, obviously, it's changed. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
bit of defensive renaissance going on. But for a time, he was like the strangely good defending shooting guard, which the league hadn't seen for quite some time. During that era,
Mm-hmm.
at least anyone with that kind of star level. And so the fact that he was kind of the only guy there boosts his defensive value. And I think, truthfully, at the end of the day, he's an average defender. I mean, he's going to give you he's going to be positive on defense. You know, he's not going to lock anyone down, but he's surely not going to be a negative. It's just that he just come in at such a strange spot and such a strange situation that it's hard to judge.
Yeah, and like his defensive film is questionable, and his defensive impact is questionable. I'm just looking at it right now. I know that D Pitman isn't the greatest stat in the world for defense. It's actually kind of frowned upon. But Clay's defensive whatever plus minus in 15-16 was in the negatives, like minus 0.4. So it leaves. I probably need to watch more film on it, but Clay Thompson's definitely an interesting player. It's a fine take by Westbrook fan because you can analyze his value in many different ways that changes how you can see him as a player. Like it's just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I see that. What's happened to Ian?
Oh, viewers, Ian has not talked for a second because he is currently grabbing meds. His his head hurt. So for the next few seconds, I will be carrying the podcast as we move into our next topic. So for our next topic today, we after we get these hot takes out, after we've gotten these hot takes out of the way, we would like to discuss some more all-time draft stuff. We would like to discuss some duos that we've never seen done before. Some duos that, if we had the chance, we would build them. We'd take them
And
together.
what a
So
better
that's
to present this than myself and you, Kev.
yeah, of course,
The
of course.
irony.
Yep. Kev Birdie duo starting this topic off while Ian gets his head meds.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess I was speaking about this. I guess to start off the topic, I was speaking about this before
yeah.
the podcast started. Surprised the podcast doesn't start when we start talking. Your world has been
Yeah.
shattered. About I was curious to see what duos have not been made. So I took the first two drafts and I took the top two players from each team, which at one point included Horford. Al Horford was getting picked like second round. Wow.
Yeah, Al Horford's value can definitely be big at times because,
Yeah.
spacing big that can pass and defend. It's very versatile, so it happens.
Yeah. And anyway, I took the I wrote down all the duos and then put them into like I did some. It's a long, arduous process, but I ended up categorizing all the duos that happened, and I don't think that there's been any like duo within the top, any two players in the top 60 that haven't been used together within
Well,
like financial reason. Because
right,
obviously
yeah.
Michael Jordan and LeBron James is obviously going to be the best duo, but it's never going to work for an ATD, I don't think.
Well, yeah, it comes down to a matter of what you've seen in standard, what you've seen in budget. Sometimes it happens to be like a round one, round two player. Like a duo I've been pushing really hard for ever since 21 Jokic became a thing was I really wanted to see AI and 21 Jokic be a thing. I haven't seen it yet in this server, but I'm still pushing for it. Someone needs to do it.
Why? I have a question. Why?
Why what?
Why? Why AI and Jokic?
Well, it comes down to AI. He's functional off the ball. He had to play a lot on ball at the 0 Sixers because it was a very defensively slanted team, but he
And
could hit. He could hit off ball cuts. That's someone like a Jokic can hit.
fair. It's a strange two players to pair, but it makes sense for you.
Oh, oh yeah, it comes down to a matter of it's how much you value AI's off ball play, which I value it a fair amount. I think he adapts well to Jokic offense, where is just Jokic is pretty much just a passing god.
Yeah.
It functions well.
I will also mention I may not be the best for this topic, as a few drafts ago I took Rashid and Jokic, and I was not aware that was a thing that had happened a lot. I thought I was doing a new thing by taking them.
Yeah, I felt bad for you that draft. Yeah, Rashid and Jokic, very, very, very popular, already done duo. If I see it again, I will throw a temper tantrum. Never again.
I don't even think that team was all that bad. No, I know that team wasn't all that bad.
It was a good team.
That was our 4-person squad got the first, second, and third seed.
Yeah, that was cool.
Was only outdone by Liam's all 4 members making the final 4.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which of
yep.
course he would be the bastard.
Yeah. But
I'm
yeah,
back.
yep, very cool. Yeah, we have moved on to our topic of duos. I started off with Jokic AI. Yeah, I talked. Yeah, I talked about how AI has very solid off-ball function. That Jokic, with his elite passing, can hit him very well in his spot.
And Jokic hitting AI in transition is also something that sounds very appealing to me.
Yeah, correct. It's a very good fit that I think would work very well. So I'm waiting for someone to do it, or else I will do it.
Well, you could do it.
Yeah,
could.
that's something you could easily do, Kev.
Oh my goodness. Episode 11 budget challenge, Jokic AI team? Question mark. No, I'm just
Jokic
playing.
has a good
I'm
team.
just playing. I'm just playing.
Looking at these guys, I guess one duo that's a very Birdie-esque duo, knowing my nature. That
Yeah.
I believe I've seen. I believe when I did my tallying up, I saw the duo twice.
Okay.
Was once or twice was Hakeem and McAdoo.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that.
that's very well fitting. Hakeem
That's
is
very
obviously
very
probably
Birdie-esque because I've taken
yeah,
McAdoo for Hakeem many times.
because
I like Bob.
it
Bob's a good dude.
works very well. Yeah, Hakeem, what, top 2 defender all time? So obviously a very great top 3. Who'd you put it to? KG?
I'm just saying, like, it might be subjective. I think he's
Yeah.
probably two. I think you could throw KG, Tim Duncan, Trey Young, any of those guys in the mix.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. McAdoo Hakeem's a great one. Hakeem would be an awesome cover for McAdoo, and offensively, that's some pretty good big playmaking.
If you had to do, I sorry to cut you off, but there's one meme team I would like to mention. If you had to do a very, very low budget team, you could always go Rashid and Rashard.
Rashid and Rashard.
Rashidard.
Rashid and Rashard going.
Rashidard.
Rashidard.
Doesn't sound right, man.
No.
Sounds like you're saying something else
something
horribly wrong.
Oh no. You Rashidard.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's
an interesting one because I'm a big fan. I did a team a while back that got memed to all hell, and I'm kind of mad about it, to be quite honest. I'm stewing over it. No, it was I basically did a thing where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do like a bunch of guys at different positions that they don't normally play at, or it's like frowned upon in ATD terms because people are like that. So I'm trying to find it before we move on because I found it.
Yeah.
I had Michael Cooper, Allen Iverson, Oscar Robertson, Vince Carter, and Rashard Lewis. I put Lewis at the 5, Carter at the 4. But I think where it's obviously like Rashard is a good defender in 09, so I was like, okay, fine. And then I got 2 centers off the bench. I drafted Bellamy and I drafted Unseld. And then I also had Dennis Johnson. So it wasn't like it was a horrible team. It was just like people saw Oscar at small forward. They saw Shard at center. They saw Carter at power forward. And it was just like, nope. So I understand it. But like I did have fun with that team.
Yeah, and that's
like I think a Shard or Sheed at center thing isn't necessarily bad.
Yeah, it's actually pretty all right, actually. we've got to all remember sometimes that these drafts are about fun. So if you want to experiment with Shard at center, it's actually reasonably fine. Like he fits
Yep.
there just fine. It's a good experiment.
I'm a big fan of experimental drafting because it's just like sometimes you
Yeah.
see the same like. Shout out Tiny Mouse because the dude is a legend and he is able to literally win so many times. But how many times is Tiny Mouse gonna draft goddamn Paul Millsap, man?
I know. I know.
It was
Yeah,
like
it's
every damn day Tiny Mouse takes Paul Millsap. But at the same time, okay, actually he really hasn't. But it just feels like that's like a tiny
a thing. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Like he's like
experimenting.
incredibly good at building teams. Like no doubt in
Yep.
my mind about that. He drafts Kiki Vandeweghe more actually. So
Yeah, he drafts Vandeweghe a lot.
but
I am
Tiny builds like great teams. So
He
shout out.
does. Yeah, always fun to experiment in these. Like just throwing out like this draft. I had a very great duo of Kobe Draymond. I got the 17 seed.
Getting the 17th seed is like the worst feeling in the world. I'd rather miss like I did. I think I got like 25th maybe. I'd rather miss like that than be like just that close to making.
Wait,
It's
so
annoying.
you got the 25th seed,
I think so. Even though my
and
team was like,
Kev got the 17th seed,
yeah.
and I got the 2nd seed.
Yep.
That boosts my confidence a lot.
I mean, I'll be fit. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I don't. My teams, like, because I experiment so much, there's only a few teams that I've done that have been like everyone really likes. I knew that this team that I built, my Nike basketball team, was going to be incredibly like people were not going to be open to it. So because
Yeah.
I did Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic as my backcourt, my front court, and I knew like I was just done for. But I wanted to do it. It was just something that would have been fun. It was fun. But yeah, I think like one duo that I'd want to do if it was budget, that I think would be really awesome because you could just stagger them. It would be Steve Nash and Magic Johnson.
Jesus Christ.
Stagger them for just constant playmaking. And I think that Nash and Magic are the two best playmakers of all time. So
correct.
To me, like having that option all the time is just amazing. It's obviously a duo that once again people will be like
judge.
There's only one ball, but the point is like okay. Imagine 48 minutes you have to deal with Nash and Magic, like one or the other. That's madness. Like it's madness.
And also, it's not even that bad anyways, because Nash, you can imagine Nash occasionally, like in a setting where it's an all-time team. You can imagine Nash occasionally shooting off the ball. Like he had the ability.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then Magic was just naturally good off the ball himself. Like Magic actually has like a proven off-ball game.
He's obviously better with the ball in his hands. Both are, but
correct.
You can make it work. My point is I'd rather stagger it because that way it's just, man, like those offenses would just be, they would be impossible to defend because both of them take offenses to just a whole new level. So that's kind of one I wanted to try. Because I really like Nash a lot, and I like Magic a lot, and I just think it would be a cool duo, man. You know?
Yeah, that's It would be cool. One duo, it's just now hitting me. I feel like I've never seen in terms of like standard values. I feel like I've never seen Luca AD.
Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if I have either.
That'd just be
Is
baby.
I mean, is you think
I have
about
split
it,
my
and
mind, sorry.
from you think of it from a fit standpoint, AD is the big that's 100% capable off the ball. He, as a big, is an okay spacer. Wasn't the best spacer these past 2 years. Um, it reasonably it works in the sense that Luca needs a second guy to hit so that he's not burnt out by the fourth quarter. Like AD Luca offense where AD is that guy for Luca to where he's getting dominant looks off Luca's gravity, it probably becomes a really scary offense.
Yeah, I actually like that duo a lot. Kev and I had a phenomenal Luca duo once, and people hate.
Well, we had Luca Reggie, and people hated on it because it was like Luca is so on ball that Reggie Miller off ball doesn't even matter. It's like okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Kev and I
One
also had a great duo before too with Jerry West and Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, that one was fire.
That was after I drafted Muggsy Bogues, and people thought I was a
Yeah,
dumb, and
and then
proved myself that I was.
I made you a great drafter. I'm your mentor, Ian.
Okay.
I
I think I was
that-
the one that proposed West Oscar actually, because I thought it would be cool.
Yeah,
I
go ahead, Birdie.
I had well not a very similar, but I had another a West duo that won a title here, Hill, which I'm still kind of which
West Hill.
West
So that's a cool one because I mean, West. When you think about it, West is one of those examples of like an ultimate fit player.
Yeah,
He's probably one of the best.
I thought I'd won the championship. It was the year in between the two or the season in between the draft, the draft between the two the two times that I won with Jerry West, Grant Hill, Shane Battier, James Worthy, and Bob Lanier.
Yeah,
that's a team I shouted out a while ago. As a team that could possibly beat the 17 Warriors. So good job.
Yeah.
I think another duo that I would be interested in seeing. I'm not sure if it's been done. But I really would be interested to see like Kobe Oscar.
Yeah.
I think that would be like really cool where Kobe has like a legit playmaker with I just feel like it would make Kobe's game that much more deadly because you have to worry about Oscar too.
Agreed. Like that's the one thing I feel like some people don't. Well, people give Kobe credit for it, but they don't utilize it enough. Is that he's got the off-ball talent to where if you're giving him another primary playmaker, he probably feasts.
Yeah.
Like that's you have the argument that Kobe was, for the most part, he wasn't the most efficient superstar, but that was because he wasn't in a position where he was set up by another playmaker. He had to be the guy. So I think in the context of these all-time drafts where you're translating Kobe Bryant to all-time teams in the modern era, you really need to help him out and give him another big playmaker. So in Oscar Robertson, in that sense, where Kobe has someone who's setting him up, he's utilizing Kobe's strengths, it leads to Kobe being really good.
Yeah. I agree.
Thank you.
I think just to shout out like quick, like a duo that's been overdone, but
Oh no. Porter
But-
MJ.
No, not that. It's another one. But I really like how Nash Kemp fits. Like Nash Kemp is
Perfect.
it's perfect, but people overdo it. So I've been trying to figure out ways like where I could incorporate another player in. So maybe stay tuned for that one. But
It's
I'm
confirmed. Ian's going Nash Kemp.
I am going to be going Nash and then Carmelo. Just to set Kev up.
Nope. Disgusting.
I have a duo that from a different server that I did that I did a draft in that was ranked quite poorly, but I'm not sure why. It was Dirk Russell.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I've actually had that before too. It's a phenomenal pairing because people cry that you need a specific big cover for Dirk, and who better to do it than Bill Russell?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
it at that point you can't hide behind the shield that Dirk defense, because Bill Russell's right there. Bill Russell, congrats. Dirk is now covered for 100%.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I had that duo and it was a standard. Me and Ian were in it. It was in another server that I have since left. Ian was the Cincinnati Bengals. I was the Washington basketball team.
Oh man, dude, my team was gonna be nutty in that draft, but hey.
Yeah, stuff happened. I won't get too much into it, but the owner of that server ended up being in that job, so no one's there anymore. It's a wasteland.
yeah. It's just the desolate emptiness of basketball.
Yeah,
It's for context, because it still bugs me to this day. For context, the Dirk Bill duo that's gotten so harshly received, I paired it with Havlicek, Stockton, and Mitch Richmond, and I got the 14th seed somehow.
Well, okay, to be fair, that was Skunk's server, and Skunk's is like it's a new server, so
Well, yeah, Skunk's voting seems terrible. Like
Well,
that server's on something else,
No
bro.
remorse stuff.
I'm not gonna hate on Skunk server because
No, I love Skunk.
I am a bit salty about my seeding too because my team was pretty good, but
Voting here was awful too. I hate you guys.
yeah, voting here has been a bit
Off.
Yeah, that's the word I was thinking.
Thank you for voting second seed. I hope to run for election next year.
There you go. Well, yeah, that voting over there is new, so it's going to take time, and as with new people coming in and stuff like that, it does take time. So I'm not surprised. But hey, it was a good team. I felt like it was a good team. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fun duos we could do if people gave us the time. But
yeah, but they don't.
But
they don't.
Sure.
You always have to snipe the player. I want one pick before me. It's not okay.
Yep, Tibbler, you are on my hit list, bud. Taking Wilt, the pick before me last draft, was not it.
Not okay.
Not okay.
I got utterly dismantled because I missed one pick. It was 80 ATD 22 where I had the Filing Duff Flyers. I had George Hill, Steph, Rick Barry, Dirk Nowitzki, and Dikembe Mutombo, and I banked super hard on getting Curry and Hill. I didn't, so I took Dirk to back it up, and it just fell apart.
Yikes!
it just like if you swap a $9 or however um swap a different power forward and then put Hill at small forward, and that team's like great. But that one snipe, I can't remember who it was, but that one snipe just threw the whole team off. I've never seen
I picked
that.
it was
It was
me.
you.
I picked Grant Hill.
It was you. I had the pick before you, and they skipped me without pinging my co GM, which who wasn't on at the time, to be fair, but you never know what happened. And I was robbed of a good team.
Yeah, that's alright. Yeah, those are some fun. Oh, yeah. Those are some fun duo names. Definitely, some duos we're trying. I'm generally surprised I've never seen Luca AD. I'll have to get back to that in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Should we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, let's get on to our third topic of the night. Well, probably day by the time you're all watching this, but for us, it's nighttime.
Yeah.
This is more of a mini topic. This will go by kind of fast. We're gonna talk about the recent trade that went down between the Cleveland Cavaliers, Portland Trailblazers, and the Chicago Bulls. As I chose to title it, the Larry Nance Jr. trade.
Yes.
Yep.
So this trade was interesting because Larry Nance, when he was on the court for the Cavs, was obviously defensively floor raising that
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
The max, and losing that is gonna hurt. I know they got Evan Mobley in the draft. They have Jared Allen. They have the guy now that they traded for.
Markkanen.
But Lauri Markkanen, I mean, I'm surprised.
Lauri Markkanen.
But it'll be interesting to see how he does. He's going to provide nice spacing. He's a good enough shooter. It's just everything else.
It really is. As a Cavs fan, it's a terrible trade. It's awful.
Yeah.
I will say,
Larry, we sent it in the server the other day when people were memeing Larry Nance Jr. bad. Like, Larry Nance Jr. There was a genuine 15 game sample streak where the Cavs were number 2 defense when Nance was healthy. And then the moment Nance got injured, we fell to number 29 defense in the league. It was so evident that Nance was huge for us. And then after he elevates us defensively, he's passing at a good rate for a big man. He's shooting the ball okay. We then trade him for someone who's most likely going to bust.
Yeah.
About the bust part, that ties into what I was going to make about this trade. I'm not too sure about Larry Nance Jr. I don't like him as a player. I mean, I don't think he's a good player. I'm not a fan of him, but that's neither here nor there. I do have a strong opinion on Lauri Markkanen, and because I was really high on him when he was coming into the league, and I feel like if you look at the situation he was in Chicago, that situation being bad, I don't. It must be like a death knell for a young guy to go to Chicago, knowing how much turmoil is going on there, behind the scenes and with the coaches and the staff and the rookies not playing hard enough, and it's just a mess. So maybe Laurie moving to Cleveland will, I guess, not to. I mean, I can't really say about the fit that it'll give on the court, but maybe it'll be just a better situation for him to, continue growing and continue to develop, and maybe he'll be able to reach a better potential in Cleveland with a better staff and a less flammable coaching staff.
Let me educate you all about JB Bickerstaff. Yeah, if Laurie Markkinen wants to thrive on offense, it's not with JB Bickerstaff. I'm gonna keep it real. JB Bickerstaff is a terrible offensive coach. Our offense last year was miserable. He could barely run any consistent plays. Our total team percentage from three was like 33%. He the offense was just not there for us. The number one thing for us was our defense, and that was because we had elevators like Nance. Now we're at a point where if we don't play well next year, we're gonna have nothing holding us up. There's going to be no positive notes, no team MVP because we just traded that away.
You'll have
Like,
another draft.
I'm so excited for another 5 first round for lottery picks in a row. Very excited. 10 more years of failure. We are now the Cleveland Kings. It's gonna be a ride for sure. I'm not excited for this trade at all. Laurie Markin does not move any needles. It's not even a good future, not a good future trade because Laurie Markin, I don't think he has a future.
Kev, I want, since I'm glad this is being recorded because I want this quoted. And at the end of next season, if Laurie has moved the needle for Cleveland, I want to be able to have the receipts of you saying this.
Mm,
Because I feel like he'll do something, and it'll be nice to rub it in your face for once. Like, haha, I knew basketball for once.
no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Look, never mind.
Just,
I'm not gonna slander Birdie on the pod. I can't do that.
it's fine. You can just pull out some obscure stat that I don't care about and like destroy it.
So yeah, I mean it's a weird trade. And Portland got better with it. So
What did Portland even get? I'm not 100% sure as to how Portland were involved in that trade.
Portland got Larry Nance Jr.
Portland got Larry Nance Jr. So what was the actual trade? I haven't actually read it. All I know is that Markkanen went to Cleveland and Larry Nance left Cleveland.
Yeah, so the trade was, I can't remember off the top of my head. It was a 3-team deal. No shit, Ian. But they said,
no, it was a five team deal.
Yeah, so it was Markkanen signing with the Cavs on a 4-year, $67 million contract, which sent Larry Nance Jr. to the Portland Trailblazers, while the Chicago Bulls will receive Derek Jones Jr. and a protected first-round pick from Portland, as well as a future second-round draft pick from Cleveland.
Interesting. Larry Nance Jr. in Portland will be actually kind of interesting. I feel.
Yeah, they needed somebody like him, to be quite honest.
I don't think Derek Jones Jr. was really changing the team much, and I mean yeah, you're right. I didn't quite realize that he was going to Portland. I thought he was going to Chicago. But now figuring out that he's going to Portland, hell yeah, Portland.
Mm.
I am a secret Trailblazer fan.
Portland won this trade really hard because now they have someone who can actually maybe make their defense competent.
Yeah.
People have been begging to get Lillard help, and Larry Nance Jr. is genuinely help.
Yep.
So good on the Blazers for that, I guess. While I sit here depressed because now we don't have a defensive anchor. Which that's something I'll say. Even though it's not Larry Nance Jr., I think when you look at the samples this year, can be credited as somewhat of an anchor.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhat.
I do think that Evan Mobley is going to be a very good defender, so I wouldn't really say you guys don't have an anchor, because I think Mobley
we just
the hell out of that team. But
yeah, well, it depends because if he comes out looking raw, then we're kind of screwed.
yeah, That's true.
It's not the well, unless he does become like we talked about in our draft episode. There's a chance that he becomes KG plus Bill. It's
Kendrick
then in
Perkins.
that
When I see Evan Mobley, I see
when I see
Bill Russell. It's like, bro, what? Even everybody on the thing was like, bro, what?
yeah, it's a questionable position. It was a terrible trade for us. I'll just get that out of the way. I'm not happy about it. It was bad. I miss Larry Nance Jr. already, but it did come out that apparently Larry Nance Jr., when he heard the trade rumors, he went ahead and requested that he was traded to a winning team. So he actually helped orchestrate the move. So I guess kind of interesting. Little fun fact that Larry Nance Jr. chose Portland.
Well, I think he more so just chose not to be in Cleveland anymore,
No.
which is
I don't know how much of a dumb fuck you have to be to not understand that Larry Nance Jr.'s heart is in Cleveland.
I know, I just like insulting Cleveland.
Well, I think this is a good time to move on.
Nice, happy
Yeah.
note.
So
Fuck.
we're
Topic.
doing
Yeah.
another. This
Yeah.
will be our budget challenge.
Yeah.
So
Another budget challenge.
this is going to be where we only draft $1 players on the list. So,
Mhm.
Birdie, you are our guest, so you are going to tell us your team first.
Oh
Yep.
god. All right, this is a team that I'm not even proud of.
Mhm.
So from point guard to center, starting five, I've got Eric Bledsoe, Andre Roberson, Sean Elliott, Adrian Dantley, Mark Eaton, and then off the bench I have Tiny Archibald, John McLaughlin, Aaron McKee, Christian Leitner, and Jeff Ruland.
It's a cool bench. The
Yeah, I
bench
like
is cool. The starting lineup, I don't think meshes as well. I think Bledsoe and Dantley would not mesh.
Well, the thing is, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I wasn't quite aware of how on ball Dantley was, and I knew that considering I was getting only $1 players, that like none of them would quite be like offensive powerhouses. So when I was writing down the ideas like for who to put on the team, I put Eric Bledsoe in parentheses, aka generic ball handler number one,
Mm.
which is I wasn't aware that Dantley would have the ball in his hand. So Bledsoe was honestly just kind of there to not be a negative on defense and the ball. I mean, I don't care anything else more. He doesn't really need to do anything else. I mean, he probably does, but I don't care. He's probably not going to get much better out of a $1 player.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess it's just proof that sometimes we all need to analyze a game because Adrian Dantley is credited as one of the worst like ball dominators of all time. He did not like passing the ball. He consumed a lot of possessions. So if you have Bledsoe who likes off it doesn't very mesh quite well. It's not the best starting lineup, but I like the bench. The bench is kind of cool. You have Archibald, McLaughlin, McKee. I like Ruland. Ruland's a cool pick. I think that's how you pronounce it. Ruland. Ruland.
You
Ruland.
you skip the best bench member, Kev.
Yeah,
Christian
Christian.
Leitner.
Christian Latex. Very cool.
Christian Latex.
I
Christian
will
Latex.
regarding ignoring Bledsoe because I really just didn't know who else to put there, and I was too scared to
Yeah.
start the ball because of his defense.
Yeah, that's fine.
I feel like Elliott works quite well off ball as a shooter, and Roberson defends. So, assuming that Dantley is on the ball, the few times he does pass, we'll hope he doesn't give it to Andre Roberson because he sure as hell can't score. Same with Mark Eaton. We'll just hope he passes it to Sean Elliott. Have Bledsoe stand in the corner, I guess. That's the winning. That's the winning strategy. That's how I've won 3 rings here. That's my
Yeah.
strategy.
That's fine.
So Kev, why don't you
Yeah,
share?
yeah. I'll get
You're-
my team over very quick for your sake since you're not feeling very well. No, it's okay. I have the Thrift Store Titans. My starting lineup was Andre Miller, Jerry Sloan, Dick Van Arnsel, Larry H. Jr., and Walt Bellamy. I think it's a fun lineup. I know Larry H. Jr., he's not the most popular $1 player, but for someone like him who can be a decent passing big, I think he fits pretty well in this lineup.
Yep.
I like Dick Van Arsdale there.
Yeah, I like DVA there for sure. Andre Miller, pretty good passer in a setting where you're only running $1 players. I had no idea that Miller had dropped back down to $1. That was actually kind of interesting. That was new. But yeah, then for my bench, I had Jameer Nelson, Matisse Thybulle, Foshan Leonard, Channing Frye, and Dan Issel. My bench was mostly just meant to kind of fill in role player purposes. And then Dan Issel, of course, he's there to be another offensive big whenever Bellamy's sitting.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just filling in roles. So I wasn't really sat and going like, this bench has to be perfect. It was just like, yeah, this guy can do this guy can do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I like Vashawn Leonard a lot.
Yeah, Voshan's an amazing spacer for his era.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have to more about Rashawn Leonard. I can't say much about him personally.
I mean, his value derives from his spacing, basically.
Yeah, he shot the ball very well. It's kind of sad that he goes unpicked most of the time because people go, I need shooting off my bench, and Vashawn Leonard's just sitting right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I like Sloan next to Miller. I like Nance next to Bellamy. And then Fry and Issel are good off the bench as well. Issel's really fun to
Yeah,
pick.
absolutely. Yeah,
So good.
so now we move on to your team, the team that in dark mode pretty much burns my eyes.
Well, if you were in light mode, you
cringe. Yeah,
would see that it's black, yellow, and gray.
yeah.
It is the Wu-Tang Clan, and that is because of the song "Cream." Dollar dollar bills, y'all. You get it.
That's smart.
So, anyways, my team is Downtown Freddie Brown, World Be Free, because I need some motherfucking scoring. I got Jamal Wilkes at the small forward, one of my favorite $1 players ever. Then I got Maurice Stokes for $1. Daryl Dawkins for $1 at center. Dawkins, by the way, very underrated peak. And Stokes, also very underrated peak. You'll hear why in a second. Why I said that. But then I got off the bench, I got Tiny Archibald, Andre Roberson, Derek Anderson, Thaddeus Young, and Rodney McRae. So I didn't go for any centers off the bench because I have Stokes and Dawkins.
Yeah.
So I didn't really need one. And then
I would like to point out that out of all these players that we've picked, the only two similarities are me and you, Ian, having Tiny and Roberson.
Yep. Good. The hope
That's
is
the
that
goal.
different style teams.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and a reason why I said those guys have underrated peaks is because I'm about to boost one of my posts I just had on NBA chat. NBA Talk. I did an underrated peaks post on Reddit. Yep. Go check it out. Got a lot of love. Got a lot of responses. So definitely go check that out.
Yep. Proud of Ian for that post. Very good post.
Thank you.
Always.
I had like 25 names at first, and then I realized I wasn't up for a dissertation. I already did my senior thesis. I didn't want to do another one. So, yeah, that was the squad. I had fun building it. I like doing $1
Yes. I think it is pretty perfect fitting that Rodney McRae is coming off for Stokes. Like, that is pretty much just like, well, actually, no, you have McRae at the 5. Well, hypothetically, there can be possessions where you have McRae come off for Stokes, and I really like the idea of that because they fit the exact bill of bigs who can pass at a pretty nice volume.
And the thing about McRae too is like he's not my bench 5. Like he's not going to be playing the 5 ever. He's going to be coming in for one of Dawkins or one of Stokes, and then one of those players stays at center. So
yeah, I really like the organization of this team and the potential of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, very cool team. Very good job.
I wish I was smart enough to come up with a starting 5 like that.
Yeah, sucks to suck. Anyways, this was this was a pretty cool challenge.
This was our 10th episode. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Yeah.
Glad to have you.
Next week, we're not very sure if we'll have a guest. It may just be back to me and Ian having very cool conversations.
Yes.
But yeah, this was great. This is a good 10th episode special. We got to hear from you guys, read your takes. We discussed some A2D duos. You heard me cry over Larian Jr. And now you saw for our 10th episode our $10 teams.
True.
Yeah. It was very, very fun episode. Very interesting episode. I may have to make some funny graphics to put in. Yeah.
Well,
thank you all for watching. If you got this far, this will probably be one of our longer ones, as we'll probably approach the 90-minute mark.
Yeah.
I like the fact that I ramble a lot.
Yeah. Birdie single-handedly extended the episode by 30 minutes.
More time for ads.
So yeah, we don't get ads, sadly.
Yeah.
Later on, you can go back and be like, yeah, make this one.
Yeah. We are now open taking sponsorships. If anyone, if Mountain Dew, if you would like to hit us up, we are waiting. We are ready. We will sell your product.
Okay. That's. I was thinking bigger, but that's all right. That. But yeah, well, this was a good episode, and Birdie, thanks for joining. And we will see you guys.
Yep.